You ready?
I'm ready, Freddy.
Oh shoot, I'm on the wrong thing. Hold on.
You're not ready though, apparently.
I don't know. I'm not. Oh, what happened? It's all wiggly now.
You're wiggly.
Oh.
Well, that wasn't very effective at all. Never mind.
Okay. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Hello, podcast world. This is not the worst episode, not the worst podcast, episode 14. Good start. Hey, it's been 2 weeks. We skipped last week, so gonna be a little rusty this week. But I'm here. I am JD, and I'm here with my co-host Anthony. Say hi, Anthony.
Hi, everybody.
Hooray. And we've got a lot of stuff to catch up on. A lot of stuff happened over the last couple of weeks. A couple of big gaming events. Yeah, so we're gonna just jump right into it, I think. But I did want to mention one thing in the intro here is that GOG.com, goodoldgaming.com, is made by the same people that make the Witcher series, CD Projekt. They are trying to do their own standalone kind of gaming thing like Epic Game Store or Steam. So they recently launched it. It's called like GOG Galaxy or something like that. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because as part of their way to get people to download it, they're giving away a free copy of the PC version of Witcher if you own the console version of The Witcher 3. So you can get The Witcher 3 for free on PC if you own the console version, which, you know, if you've already played it, might not be appealing to you. But if you did play it on console, it might have been a couple of years ago. And I know in my case, I've switched to PC since I played it on Xbox. So I'm happy to get the PC version for free, and I might even replay it, you know?
That's probably going to look a lot better, too.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to have all the visual improvements and that kind of thing, the UI improvements and things like that. So all you have to do is go to GOG.com, download their little, you know, whatever you call it, gaming player thingy, and then connect your console account to it, and it's automatically given to you for free. So that was my little intro spiel. I think that's pretty neat. I already did it, and I have it. I'm going to play it. Hooray!
Awesome. I got one too. Mine's not going to be as long because it's more of a sarcastic and a jab at the company. But Google's Stadia is going to be free for a period, so you can try it because I know you're all dying to see how Stadia is, but it's free now.
Didn't they do that with COVID a couple of months ago too?
They might have. But I've been watching YouTube videos and nonstop. Every 5 seconds that stupid ad pops up. So in case you guys didn't know, because you're living a shell and don't watch YouTube.
How do you not have an ad blocker?
I usually watch on my phone at work.
Oh, yeah. That happens when I watch it on my phone.
By watch, I mean I do work and listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's jump into our stories. We really only got a couple of stories. We're gonna talk a lot about all the new games that have been announced in the last couple of weeks. But the first thing we're gonna talk about is an interesting kind of game, a very unique kind of game
that you will not be able to buy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be available. So why don't you break that down for us?
This is actually pretty cool, and part of the reason why I want to pick this one, my parents and my wife have even joked they think I have a form of ADD. Not the same as this, but it's ADHD. So
your form is called stupidity.
ADHD, I believe, is a lot worse than ADD, if I remember correctly, or not a lot worse, but it's
like a different level. Yeah, it's like more specific, obviously, because there's another word in there, but the specificity of it means it can be identified in a different way. Yeah,
and probably treated a little better than regular ADD.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, I ain't no medical expert, so what do I know?
Nope.
Could be completely wrong.
If we, on the odd chance we got medical experts, maybe somebody from the FDA, because I totally added them in my Twitter post.
Yep, they're
there. Anyway, so the FDA and this company called AkiliLabs has made history with the first prescribed video game. If you have a child between the ages of 8 to 12 with certain symptoms of ADHD, AkiliLabs Interactive has made a video game that could help. Not, I don't know if it doesn't look like it cures. I think it just helps control the symptoms.
Yeah, I don't think it's something to like get rid of the ADHD. I think it's something to like focus their attention and develop their abilities that way.
Yeah, it
Something like
does. Yeah, it says therapy for improving ADHD symptoms. So it's probably to make it more manageable for the child
that.
and
Right.
for the parents. As opposed, it's not going to make it go away, but it's the first video game to actually be used in a help and as like a medication in a way. And it's kind of ironic because we've had years with politicians telling us how unhealthy and unsafe video games are, and now we got one used to treat a medical condition. So
Yep.
it's pretty exciting.
And they were even I mean, there's a lot of talk about the health of video games this year because they were talking about it during COVID and stuff like that. And now
yeah.
they're treating ADHD with it. So,
Yeah, didn't
screw
this?
you, experts.
Yeah, all those
We're
politicians.
perfectly fine. Oh, spoon.
um, yeah, wasn't the CDC that recommend playing video games to encourage social
Yeah.
distancing or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Help pass the time and not get depressed.
Keep your brain occupied and keep those motor skills functioning, so you're not being a vegetable on a couch, getting fat,
Yeah.
eating COVID food, and watching shows.
Yeah, and if you'll remember, the military obviously was using video games in a very effective way for learning how to drive a tank.
So
That was
video
a great
games.
story.
This is a new era for video games. It's great for us gamers.
Yay!
But this game is called EndeavorRx, and it's the company Interactive Labs is a Boston based. So actually, I didn't even know this because as JD pointed out before we started, I did not read the article until like literally just now.
He's the one who said he wanted to talk about this, and then I started like asking him questions and like talking to him about it. And he's like, "Oh, so it's not just like a game that's out there. Oh, it's like a real game. Oh, idiot! No wonder you have
But
ADHD.
yeah, no surprise there. I got something, that's for
You
sure.
should try reading."
I should. I don't know if I got the temperament for that, but the FDA did look at data from multiple studies of about 600 children, and the game has one of the parts of it. It sounds like it's got multiple things, but they show the video that they use shows a character traveling on a race course with a hoverboard, kind of like Marty McFly from Back to the Future, but you're on a race course to race.
Yeah, so it looks fun. It's cartoony.
But like I said, unless you're a child from 8 to 12 with certain symptoms of ADHD, you will not be playing this game. It's not going to be available on Steam. It's not going to be an indie game for you to just go mess around with like all those weird indie games that exist on the world of Steam. So
I wonder how they're going to distribute it.
That is going to be interesting. They get that maybe they have
their website or something.
I was saying it's probably going to be through their website. They're not going to use a platform like Steam or Epic or anything like that. I don't think so anyway. So, if you're interested,
I can't wait for my kid to get ADHD so I can download the game and play it.
you beat me to it. I say, if you're interested in this game, hope your kid has ADHD so you can download and play it. Well, buddy, I hate to. You got what, 7 years? Because it said 8 to 12.
I know he's a little young. We got it. That's fine. This is going to open the door for other games to be developed, younger games for the younger idiots like mine, and then he can get the game and then I can play it. All right.
With that being said, this means that JD and I will not be testing the game for you because we are incapable of testing said game, so we won't be able to dive into it too much. So it's gonna be interesting.
I don't know. We could probably convince the doctor that you have the mind of a 12-year-old.
Probably wouldn't. It wouldn't be hard to do at all.
Yeah, it would be pretty quick.
It was, speaking of which, we mentioned the CDC saying you can play video games during COVID. In fact, one of the sub articles that, how they throw random articles through the story for you to click, says COVID-19 video games can be a healthy social pastime during coronavirus pandemic. So there you go. Yep. Video games are going to save the day, everybody. We're going to be fine.
Look at not even just like the COVID thing and not the ADHD thing, and obviously the military is going way far and above with its video game usage. But then there's also like sports. We've talked a lot about how sports got shut down, but esports are thriving. Esports have had some huge tournaments in the last couple months, making lots of people money. So there's a lot of benefits to gaming this year.
Yeah, they
It's a
talked
hot
about
time to be a video gamer.
really is. I think NASCAR is still talking about doing the iRacing series, regardless of because I
Mhm.
think they started the season back up, but I think
Oh,
they're
yeah.
still.
Um,
They'll probably do like charity events and like all star races, not like
yeah.
actually
Well, it'd be
tournament
great for that
races.
kinda stuff. Yeah, sure.
It would.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, that's unless JD's got something else. That's about all I got. But the
No, it's a cool topic. It's interesting.
yeah, it says one last thing is sensory motor tasks are designed to help a player improve cognitive functioning, which
What
is
was that
not
word?
shocking. Don't know. I don't want my head hurts right now already. I've already had to use big words like ADHD and FDA, so don't ask me to do
So
that one
pretty,
again.
but so dumb.
Which actually isn't that shocking. I've heard stories of they talked about video games being able to improve children's hand-eye coordination in the past. So
Sure, yeah. But it is interesting, like, it's the FDA, so let's not get our panties in a bunch over how the expertise of the FDA, because 'cause they're definitely suspect, but, uh, if it can actually, like, improve symptoms of ADHD, I think that's a pretty amazing thing, and I'd be really
mhm.
interested to see how it differs from other games and
Yeah,
what what aspects of this game are unique to it that make it do that, you know what I mean?
it
Be
makes me
interesting.
wonder if they don't use a conventional controller or mouse and keyboard. That would
Yeah,
be something to
yeah.
look into because it is specifically to improve those abilities for those kids that have issues with focusing. So I wonder if it's not going to be just a run of the mill controller or anything. It's probably going to be a little design. So that's probably part of the prescription is to get the equipment capable to operate the
Could
game.
be. Yeah,
So
we don't know enough about it. They haven't really given out details about it,
mm,
so yeah, it could definitely be a hardware thing that plays into it. Maybe it, like, randomizes the controls, so you have to, like, hit the right keys to kinda help you move it along or something. I don't know.
yeah, it could be maybe
Interesting.
like a kind of Guitar Hero kind of keyboard. It gives you prompts and you have to make sure you hit the exact button at the right time or something like that.
Yeah, something.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's about it for that one. JD is gonna segue us into our next topic, which is a very expansive topic that will take up probably the rest of the show. So
Yeah, I think we got a lot to talk about here. I mean, it's kind of in the same vein, and along with AkiliLabs announcing a new game, but there's specific to ADHD. A billion other people also announced new games in the last couple of weeks because we've had a couple different shows like the IGN Summer of Gaming just happened, PC Gaming Show 2020 just happened, the PlayStation 5 reveal just happened. So we have and each one of these has its own set of games announced with it. Some of them are repeats, some of them aren't. But it's a lot of games. So we thought we'd kind of go through some of it, not all of it. There's a million games out there. There's like a billion games on Steam. You can go find a random game if you want. We're just going to talk about the ones we recognize and the trailers we
mm,
watched and see what we think about them. So let's start. I'm going to start
you
with
must.
PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I was
Um,
gonna say.
it's the biggest one. And some of these games I would really like to talk about, even though I'll probably never play them because I'm probably never going to own a PlayStation 5. So let's get into that.
Hmm.
There's a couple of big exclusives, and that's why I say I'll never get to play them. Like the Spider-Man Miles Morales is like a standalone. You remember the Spider-Man game that came out for the PlayStation 4 and we thought was really cool, and it
Yeah, this
seemed like a
one's
lot
gonna
of
be.
fun, and we wish we could have played it, and then we never did. So now they have Miles Morales is getting his own game after appearing as a side character in that first one, and this is going to be a standalone game. It's not an expansion on the first one, and it's going to be the first Spider-Man game to feature a black Spider-Man, which is pretty cool. And it's looks like it's going to be fun because if it's anything like that first one, that first one was a hoot to everybody who played it, as far as I know. So
And if they
should be great.
incorporate stuff from Into the Spider Verse, which was one of my favorite Spider Man movies, honestly, it was
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah.
Apparently, the next one is actually going to have a Tobey Maguire Spider Man in the next
Ugh.
multiverse.
I hope it's from Spider-Man 3, where he's all emo and like dancing on the street. I hope that's the Spider-Man.
They already
That's
made
gonna
that
be the first
joke
Spider-Man.
in the
Oh,
last
really?
multiverse. Yeah, they had
Yeah, really?
one of
Oh,
the.
yeah.
He
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
dancing.
yeah.
And he said, "We don't want to talk about that one," and they just kind of
Yeah,
passed over
sure.
it.
Yeah, that was the worst. So, yeah, so that'll be great. If you're looking forward to the PlayStation 5, I think that Spider-Man game is gonna be the talk of the town when that comes out. And they're also doing a sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn called Horizon Forbidden West, or Horizon 2 if you prefer. Uh, that game was another exclusive, which I don't think it's exclusive anymore. And I'm pretty sure this one, while exclusive to the PlayStation, is not going to be exclusive either. But I can't find information on that. But this game, Horizon Zero Dawn, just recently came out on PC. It's been on PlayStation 4 since it was released. So I've actually been looking forward to playing that, or either it recently came out or it was announced that it was coming out. Either way. Oh, mid 2020. So I don't think it's out yet. But I do
Mhm.
want to play that. That game was from like 3 years ago, and it looked really awesome. But of course, it's exclusive. And then this one, Horizon 2, is going to be on the PlayStation 5, and also will come to PC eventually, just like the first one did, I think. So that one looks great. You should look it up if you are interested in those games. I don't know much about it, obviously, because I haven't played it, but it's got like robots and big fancy like robot dinosaurs and stuff like that. And there's this one takes place in San Francisco, but it's post-apocalyptic, so it's like flooded, and you'll be like climbing mountains and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, one of the game.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's too bad Zombie's not here, our friend Gilbert, because we could talk about Resident Evil Village, a new Resident Evil game.
Yeah, he's all about those Resident Evil games. They just did
I'm
that
sure he already
remake
knows about
recently.
it. Yeah, exactly, and I think this is because that was Resident Evil 7 that was the remake, right?
Yes.
So,
In
and
fact,
I think this one's going to be carrying on from that.
yeah. And I'm fairly certain he does know about it. If I remember correctly, he mentioned it in our group chat, and Marvel made fun of him for it because Marvel's Marvel and scares
Well,
easy.
I'm pretty sure Gilbert already has a tattoo for this game, so that's what he's into. Oops, hit play on a video. My bad. Let's see what else we got from PlayStation 5. There's some other little games that I don't really care about, like a Demon Souls remake. I'm sure there's some people that love that. Ratchet and Clank,
My
which
brother
I
and I
have
love
played
that
before, and
game.
that's fine. Yeah,
It's a
there's gonna
platformer.
be a new Ratchet and Clank. Pretty standard fare, I feel like. New GTA is gonna be back. GTA 5 coming to
Ooh,
PlayStation 5.
sorry.
Woohoo! Yeah, stupid. They need to let that go. Give us GTA 6.
Oddworld's making a comeback.
Yeah, Oddworld. That's right. Where was I can't find that one in my list that I'm on.
It's near the bottom. It's after.
Yeah, there's a new Oddworld game. How crazy is that? I don't remember. Like, was Oddworld? Wasn't that like original Xbox? Maybe Xbox 360.
If it made it there, the only Oddworld I ever played was on the Game Boy. Like, not even the Game Boy Advance. It was on the Game Boy.
Well, there was one called Oddworld Munch's Odyssey.
Oh yeah. I think you're right on that one.
I don't remember which Xbox that was, but that like it's been a while since I've heard the name Oddworld. So that should be interesting for sure. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else was on the PlayStation 5 thing.
Project Athena.
I mean, obviously there were a lot of games, so we're not gonna just read off all of them. Oh, this is the one I wanted to talk about. Jet the Far Shore.
Oh, I just looked at one. Yeah.
This is from the people that did. So, it's from the Super Brothers, and they did this game called Sword and Sorcery, and it was on the iPhone or the iPad, and it was a crazy good game. It was one of the best games I've ever played on a mobile device.
Mm-hmm.
It was just awesome, and if they're gonna make a game anywhere close to that, then I think that'll be.
What kind of game is it? Or at least the iPad one.
The iPad one was more of a fantasy game, and this one looks more outer spacey, I want to say, by the look of it. I can't play the trailer now because it'll show up in the recording, and I already pressed play, so there's going to be random sound on the podcast now. But it does look like pretty interesting. I think that'll be fun. It's like an indie game. It's like a smaller game, right? It's not going to be a game that takes up hours and hours of your time.
And not all these are PS5 exclusives. Some of them are, some of them aren't.
Right.
Obviously, the Spider-Man one is because Sony owns the right to Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man will be Horizon 2 will be originally. But yeah. So yeah, that's cool.
Speaking
Any
of the
other game
PlayStation,
in that announcement you want to talk about?
no, that was pretty much it. I've kind of not played a PlayStation game, and I
Right.
don't. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Last one I had
so
was the PlayStation 3. So yeah.
yeah, I
Been a
think
while.
that's about the last one I played on. The only thing I want to bring up is because we're talking about the PlayStation 5. If you guys don't know what it looks like, I don't know how you've missed it. There's been millions of memes come out ever since that console's been released or announced. And also, for those of you freaking out saying that it's going to be $700 for the console because of supposed Amazon price leak, this happened last time. Everybody thought they're going to be insanely expensive, and it ended up being nothing closer. So wait till Sony actually comes out and makes the official price announcement. So don't panic thinking you're going to have to pay $700 for it. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's right, but last time it happened with the Xbox One, everybody panicked thinking Sony or Microsoft was going to charge like $600 for the console. I think it was still pretty expensive because they had that stupid Connect with it that nobody uses anymore.
I use it. Poor Connect.
Yeah,
I love you, Connect.
The only thing I use it
Right
for
now,
is
I can turn on my Xbox right now with my Connect. Don't mess with me. I'll do it. It's right there.
that's about all I use it for, is to turn it on and then to change my shows on Netflix and all that.
Pretty much, yeah.
But yeah, that's it. I was going to talk about PlayStation 5. One of the next games, do you want to do the Summer of Gaming article next, or you want to talk about one of the individual
let's
games?
go to IGN. IGN had a bunch of unique games in their reveal. The IGN Summer of Gaming was like a multi-day event. So I tried to find an article that kind of had a brief summary of all the games that were revealed over that time. Obviously, again, there were 2 dozen games revealed. But one of the things we saw that piqued both of our interest was the game Destroy All Humans is getting a reboot. They're going to refresh the graphics and give you some new abilities, and so you can continue killing humans with chickens.
Or ripping their brains out.
And I didn't even think about this at the time, but we were just talking about this right before the podcast started. Destroy All Humans was an original Xbox game. Like, it didn't even occur to me that the game was that old.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah. But I remember playing it, and because just the name alone just made me want to play it. Destroy All Humans just sounded like a fun time. I still think about that name daily in my sleep. Destroy All Humans.
Yeah, but you might need help for that, and not so much.
That's true. That's true. My therapist says I'm not supposed to say that in public. But it's fine. No, Destroy All Humans was just kind of a cutesy little open world game where you play as an alien and you're trying to capture humans or kill them in the process, and you're like running from like secret like FBI agents or whatever trying to capture you, things like that. In tanks,
the military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun. It's a fun little game. It took up a few hours of my life at some point in the past, and they're rebooting it, so to give it a new, fresh look. So I think that's cool.
Your favorite weapon was the anal probe, wasn't it?
I still use it to this day. Oh, you mean in the game? Oh, yeah. It was all right.
What you do in your off time does not need to be mentioned in the.
I got a whole new way to use Connect. Let's see, what other games? Oh, go ahead.
I was just say Destroy All Humans. Yeah, I was actually, I didn't even know they were talking about the remake. I just saw, hey, it's on free for gold, games with gold on Xbox. Download it. My wife was cooking dinner one night, and I was just messing around with it. She's very confused of what I was doing to the humans with cows, but it was a lot of fun, and I remember it from way back. And like JD, until I booted it up, I had no idea it was an Xbox original game. I thought, our original Xbox game, I thought it was like 360, like he thought. But when I booted it up, there was that black and green logo just popped right up.
That's crazy. We're old.
Yeah, we
are. So what other games? Oh, Scarlet Nexus. This was also shown at the Xbox reveal about like a month or two ago, whenever that was. This is sort of it's kind of a Japanesey, steampunky action RPG, and it's got really unique looking bad guys, like these plants that walk on 2 legs kind of thing. But it looks really interesting. The trailer is pretty psychedelic. Like it's kind of trippy. But I don't know anything about this game. and I've never played anything. If it's in a series or I've never played it. If it's based on a manga, I've never read it. Um, but it looks fun. I would give it a shot.
That's
It's
important.
kinda yeah. So it's got like it says it's got swordplay and psychokinesis, and they're calling it brain punk, which whatever that means. I hate them for that. Um, but it looks fun. So that game looks good. We also got to see fresh footage of the new Amazon massive multiplayer online game,
Mm-hmm.
New World. And I know we played Crucible recently. We've talked about that on the podcast. We have at least one friend that's been looking
Yeah.
forward to this MMO. Um, I mean, based on how Crucible has done, you know, I'm
Can't really
pretty
hold
sure
your breath
everybody's
on
having
this.
some doubts. So, uh,
I didn't really get super excited when I saw the footage for New Worlds. I mean, it looked interesting, but it also looked chaotic with not a whole lot of. But the might have been just how the trailer was done. It kind of bounced everywhere.
yeah, I think they were trying to show some gameplay, and the gameplay is just kind of like the parts that I saw were almost like a PvP kind of arena thing, and it had a lot of people running around and a lot of people doing a bunch of different stuff, and it didn't really give you a good look at what you could do. But if you listen to the interview, they talk about there's going to be house building, there's going to be all kinds of customization, there's going to be they're really focusing on the kind of stuff that MMO players are looking forward to, like end game content and things like that,
Mm.
and lots of progression systems. Um, so in terms of MMO stuff, it definitely looks good if you're into MMOs. My one concern with it is the color of it. Like through the whole trailer that they showed,
Yeah,
very brown. It's very
very
dingy.
bland and nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Trees
Elder
don't have
Scrolls.
leaves, stuff like that. So yeah,
Elder
I don't know.
Scrolls had some bland to it, but they also had a lot of color. So
Right. Yeah, like in Elder Scrolls, they had a bunch of different environments. So it might just be that the environment they happened to show. Oh my gosh, I just hit play again. Sorry. That's what I get for scrolling through a website with a bunch of videos on it. So we're gonna have just like random intermittent interviewer talking. I don't know. Anyway, uh, I was trying to scroll through the video without hitting play, and I hit play. But yeah, I mean, there could be tons of different environments in this game, and they just happen to be showing one environment that they're recording, and it's probably this way for the PvP environment because that's what they were showing off was PvP gameplay. Uh,
which, I mean,
but
is fine, but if you're going to showcase a game for a company that hasn't been in the console/PC gaming world, you want to show off the best of it, not keep it so.
yeah,
I mean, because like you said with Crucible, that flopped pretty hard, pretty quick. So you don't have a lot of faith in the player base right now of your next development. I mean, maybe there's a lot of MMO fans out there that would just be excited a new company's putting their foot in the pot or whatever on developing another MMO, and maybe that will draw them in. But it didn't draw me in. I wasn't super excited about it. Granted, I don't usually get into PvP with MMOs because like every other competitive game out there, I suck at it, so I don't really like to get into it. So
yeah. I mean, you just kind of suck in general, but that's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that's our style has never really been MMOs, and we've definitely never really done the PvP in MMOs. Probably the most PvP I ever did was in what was that, Neverwinter, and that's just because I knew what the OP characters were, so I played the OP ones so I could win more. Uh,
We didn't do too bad in ESO Online that for that short period we played on the consoles.
yeah, when we played it originally, yeah, I enjoyed that, and if it's like that, and it sounds like it's going to be a lot like that,
Yeah,
because there's like territory control and
sieges and stuff.
action combat and sieges and stuff like that. So yeah, it sounds like it'll be a lot like that. So maybe it'll be fun.
Who knows?
I'll have to try it. All you can do is try it and see.
Yeah,
But we're
that's
not very good at MMOs. Like, you know, I mean, when we just recently tried to play Elder Scrolls and nobody wants to like get to the end game. Everybody wants to sit around and read quests and talk to people, and it's like, stop wasting my time, man. If we're gonna play an MMO, let's get to the MMO part. I'm
let's
not
do
here for
this.
I'm not here to listen to the Khajiit tell me where the treasure is hidden in the cave. I don't care. Just give me
While
the
they
treasure.
talking
Give me my level so I can get to the raid. You
while they
jerks.
talking third person the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah. Khajiit knows what treasure. Okay, never mind. All right. What else we got? Uh,
They
oh
had that
wow. Oh,
they
go
had
ahead.
that crab fight game because I don't know
Yeah,
why
fight
that
crab.
made the list.
So stupid. Yeah, that's dumb. I guess if you're into 3D fighting games featuring crabs, that'll be for you.
And you'll be
But
super
they do
excited.
have Forgotten City, which is kind of funny because this is a Skyrim mod. It is a mod for the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim that has apparently like I remember downloading this once when it was smaller. But apparently it's gotten so big that it has now become its own standalone downloadable expansion pack for Skyrim. Uh, so that's kind of crazy if you want to get back into Skyrim and do that stuff.
Yeah.
It's got all new mechanics, new twists, new voice actings, new endings, probably a whole bunch of stuff I don't even remember. We should tell Marvel about that since he
Yeah.
loves Skyrim so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
And that would suck him in forever again.
Yeah, we'll never see him again. He won't even play Elder Scrolls Online anymore. He'll just play Skyrim. So that's pretty cool. There was some other games. There's like there was a Earthbound looking RPG called Knuckle Sandwich in there, and some other smaller indie games and stuff like that. So you can definitely go check that out. Well, obviously, we'll have links to all this stuff in our
Yeah.
description for the episode. Uh, but let's move on to real quick. Let's talk about Baldur's Gate 3. This is a
Mm-hmm.
game that we are looking forward to playing. We're definitely going to probably, maybe, probably not, be playing it. Uh, we might even stream it. This is from so first of all, I love Baldur's Gate. I love Baldur's Gate all the way back to, like, the first Baldur's Gates. I've played the enhanced editions. I'm a big fan. It's based on Dungeons& and Dragons. And I don't know if Anthony's played those, but he has played Divinity: Original Sins 2, which I know he has been a big fan of, and Baldur's Gate 3 is being made by the same people that made Divinity:
Yeah.
Original Sins 2, and they're bringing over a lot of the mechanics and the elements of that game into Baldur's Gate 3. So if you are a Baldur's Gate fan, you should be really looking forward to this game. And if you're a Divinity: Original Sins 2 fan, you should definitely be looking forward to this game.
I
Uh,
will say this: I am totally down to play Baldur's Gate, especially if it's anything like Divinity 3. The only thing I asked is we have to beat Divinity 3 or Divinity 2 before we move on to.
we're never going to beat that game. I have started that game so many times. That opening Fort Joy Island, I could do blindfolded at this point in my life, and I've never made it past Act 2 of that game. There's so much happening in that game. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
I think
And
we're
I mean, if Baldur's Gate is like that, that's gonna be crazy because the original Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 aren't very long.
they're
I mean,
not.
they're long for an RPG, right? Like, it's an RPG, so it's gonna be long. Uh,
Yeah,
but, like, they're nothing
compared to
near
us.
as bad as Divinity: Original Sins 2, I don't think, at least from what I remember. So anyway, yeah, the reason we're talking about it is because Larian Studios delayed Baldur's Gate 3 because of COVID. Obviously, they had to work from home, so they couldn't do things like motion capture and voice acting and stuff like that. But they've announced that they're going to try and get Baldur's Gate 3 into early access in August of this year. So it's just a couple months away, and that's pretty awesome. Looking forward
August
to
is
that.
the same month you'll get the Total War game for free on Epic too. So
Oh
don't
yeah,
forget that.
yeah, that's right. If you listen to our last podcast, I think we talk about there's going to be a free game offered on the Epic Game Store, a brand new game offered completely for free, so you can save $60. And we'll talk about
Only
more
on
of
day
that
one.
when the time
Yeah.
comes. Right? Yeah, it's only going to be available for one day. So yeah, so Baldur's Gate 3 that was its own like standalone article, and then the PC Gaming Show. Hold on, got to find the right article. Here we go. All right, PC Gaming Show was another big gaming event that happened in the last couple of weeks. So let's
2
talk
days ago.
about yeah,
Well, the
Torchlight
13th.
3. It was the first game, and it is available on Steam right now. If you've ever played any of the Torchlight games, you can go play that. It is in early access. Go play it, have some fun. I might even look into that one. I haven't played the other Torchlight games, but I've heard enough about them and I knew enough about them that I would be interested in that. Let's talk about that open dev game. It's a
Oh
4X
yeah.
strategy game. If you don't know, 4X strategy is usually very in-depth kind of strategy game where you pretty much building a civilization from the ground up, and there's like not just not just fighting. individual units or individual armies, but you're actually scoping out an entire map to take over the world or, universe, whatever the setting is of your game. So 4X strategy, super in-depth game. This one's called Humankind's Open Dev. And the interesting thing about this game is that you can develop part of it. You can actually go to the Amplitude Studios website right now
which
and
is
sign
weird.
up. Yeah, which yeah, it's crazy. And sign up to be a part of Open Dev, where you will create something in the game. Obviously, you're probably going to need some sort of coding background or some sort of artistic background that you can apply to this situation. But you can basically immortalize yourself. If this game's successful, if people play it, they'll see your stuff, and you'll probably have credits at the end of the game. I would imagine that that's true. At least, at the very least, credits. I don't know. Maybe if you do enough, you get paid. I don't know. I really don't know. So don't take my word for that. Don't be like, "Hey, you guys owe me $50." No, I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
they probably chances of that happens pretty slim. I think they're going to say your
yeah,
reward is to be able to actually develop the game with them, play it before
right,
everybody else, and you get some credit in the credits somewhere. Or like in Deep Rock, they nobody helped develops, but they did like pre-alpha tests or stuff like that. A lot of players got their names in the Hall of Honor, or whatever it's called in Deep Rock.
right. Yeah,
But the you,
yeah. So you'll definitely. I would bet money that you get your name in the game somewhere, either
yeah.
actually in the game or just in the credits at the end or something. But even if not, if all you do is design a little statue in a ship or something like that, people will see your statue when they play the game, and that's pretty cool. You'll be able to like go to your friend's house and download the game and play to that point and be like, look, I did this. This is mine. I put it in this game. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and maybe you can show your grandkids someday. But like when nothing
Yeah.
exists but video games because COVID's got us all locked in our houses, you be like,
Yep,
see this
and
game?
when you have grandkids and you've accomplished nothing else in your life because you're pathetic and lonely, but you did at one point build a statue in an open dev game.
There you
You can
go.
point to that. Yay. Alright,
And,
uh,
oops.
next one is, the Icarus game. So, if you don't know anything about, DayZ, DayZ is a survival game,
Hmm.
ridiculously it is known for being challenging and known for being unforgiving. And known for being around for a long time with nothing happening to it because the creator was a slacker. But so now the Daisy creator he's long since moved on from Daisy, and now he's making a new game called Icarus. Um, which
By the
so
way,
he
for
he
those
has
who
the credibility. What's that?
I was gonna say, for those
You
who
know?
don't know, DayZ started as an Arma mod for one of the
Yeah,
original Arma
that's
games.
true too. That's a good point. Yeah, it was just a mod that he turned into an actual game and managed to um, earn
Yeah.
a reputation off of it. So now he's making this game Icarus, and it is very going to be very similar to DayZ from what I can tell from the interview.
Hmm.
He wants it to be a survival game. The setting is obviously very different. DayZ was zombies in sort of a post-apocalyptic Earth kind of thing. Icarus
Hmm.
is going to be an outer space game where you're going on outer space planets. I don't know what other kind of planets you would go on besides outer space ones. Um, but one of the things they talked about is, and I think a lot of gamers can relate to this, is that probably the most intense and harrowing part of any survival game is like the first hour or two, the time that it takes you to get acclimated to the game, where you're just struggling to find any sort of weapon, you're struggling to find the food to keep yourself alive, struggling to find that shelter to hide from the hordes outside. And the this guy, the DayZ creator, talks about how he wants Icarus to capture that moment over and over again. So in this survival game, which first of all sounds terrible. Like I have no idea how
Yes.
you're going to do that. I mean, I understand what he's saying. Like I understand that moment. It's kind of like with Minecraft. The hardest part of Minecraft is when you first start, right? And you don't have any tools, and you have to find your tools, you have to find a base, all that kind of stuff. I understand what he's talking about there. I don't think he's going to be able to accomplish this goal. Uh,
People are gonna
but
get
from the
so
sound of it,
frustrated and
yeah, exactly.
irritated within
Yeah,
a couple hours of playing that game.
yeah, because part of that early struggle is knowing that you can rise to new heights because of it, right? Like you want to be the badass that has all the stuff. And it does sound like there's going to be a little mix of that. So they talked about how missions in this game, there's going to be like 20-minute missions that'll just be pure intensity, trying to survive, trying to dig a hole, trying to get what you need. And then there's going to be sessions that last a long time. And I think you'll get to pick and choose between those. You could probably mix them up and things like that. So uh it's one of the things that's weird about this game is you can't breathe. So I guess you're
Because you're
going to
in
all these
space.
yeah, you're going to all these different planets and you can't breathe their atmosphere. So that's what limits your ability to stay on that planet is the fact that you don't have air. And you're probably part of the survival is struggle to find air, either leftover oxygen canisters or some sort of plant that has oxygen bubbles or something. Stuff like that they'll implement into the game. I don't know how it's going to work.
Hmm.
But that'll be part of the survival technique, and it'll be part of the limiting factor for how long you can stay on the planet. But we'll see how that goes. I don't know that it sounds feasible to do this weird capturing that early game moment of a survival game, but the setting seems neat, and maybe it'll have a lot of unique environments and unique animals and maybe enemy alien zombies or something. So could be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I that's one of the things I hated the most about DayZ is like whenever I finally got established, and then a dickweed player would come along and kill me, and I have to start all over again because he took all my gear. So, but
Pretty much
now,
every survival game ever.
yeah. So
Yeah.
now what's going to happen instead of it's a player doing it, the game sounds like it's going to automatically reset you every 20 minutes. So
Yeah. Yeah, now the game's just like, "Screw you, man. That's all you
you
get."
don't have to worry about another player doing it to you. We'll do it for them.
Yeah.
So I'm
So what else?
not.
Oh,
We'll see how that goes, but
yeah. Yeah, I'm not super looking forward to that. Well, that's not true. I am looking forward to it because I'm interested in what it's going to be. I'm just not super convinced that it's going to be what this guy wants it to be.
mhm.
But we'll
Yeah.
see.
Maybe there's some stuff he's not telling us, so that he's
Yeah,
leaving
I mean,
out.
and it's slated for 2021, so there's plenty of time for him to develop that.
Mhm.
Let's see what else we got from the PC Gaming Show 2020. There's some sequels like Evil Geniuses 2. Remnant from the Ashes is getting a DLC. If you have played Remnant from the Ashes and you enjoyed that, you should be looking forward to that expansion coming out. Let's see. I don't know. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of games. I'm just looking through the headlines here, trying to find words that I recognize. There's a Weird West action RPG. That's kind of interesting. You don't see a lot of westerns outside of like Red Dead. So if it's got like a spaghetti western feel to it, that could be interesting. Oh, there was also Desperados 3 that came out recently that has a western feel to it. Those are the only games I can think of. Let's see.
There's another game. I don't know when it came out. It's probably an older one, but it's the first time I've seen it. It's on Steam. I can't remember the name of it. It looked like a sci-fi western game. Like you all look like.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just say it looked like a sci-fi western game, but I don't know when that came out, so it probably is. But I just brought it up because he mentioned western games. There hasn't been too many outside of Red Dead.
The other thing I was going to say for PC Gaming Show is that Escape from Tarkov is getting a new map, and I know that's been a pretty popular game. I've watched a lot of people stream it because it's really fun to watch. It's got a lot of in-depthness to it. Depthness. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
A lot of depth.
A lot of depth. It's got a lot of depth to it. So it's fun to watch, and they're coming out with a new map for their world because you can pick different places that you go, like the factory or whatever. So that'll be interesting. And that's about it for PC Gaming Show 2020, as far as I could tell. There's a lot of other games, and if you're interested, you should look up PC Gaming Show 2020 and check out a recap and look up those trailers. Anything you wanted to talk about from that one that I missed?
Not from the PC gaming one. I looked at the list. There wasn't really any that really caught my eye. You already talked on the ones that would catch my attention. So the rest, Yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe sometimes with these games that I see and hear about, I'm like, yeah, not that interested. And maybe I catch a YouTube video or a stream, then it sucks me in and give it a shot. So who knows? Some of these games that we kind of breezed over or didn't really mention doesn't mean they're going to be horrible games or anything. It's just something we don't recognize or didn't catch our attention. But who knows? Something in the future we may end up talking about it a little more in depth as more comes out. So. The only thing I was going to add, if you're done with the PC game show, it's just a couple other things. It's not really a new game. Sounds like it's another new remake or remaster. It's not. Anybody big in the Pokemon video games, Pokemon Snap. Yeah. It got announced that it's coming to Twitch. So if you guys were big, I remember when that came out on the 64. Even as a kid, I thought it was weird. You run around and take pictures of Pokemon. But hey, apparently it was a lot of fun and enough fun for it to come back on Switch. And there are actually people excited about it. So if you're excited, it was announced. I don't remember when it was announced. June 17th. So yeah, today.
Yeah.
At least the article is written today. So if you guys are excited about it,
very new announcement. So some people might not have even heard of it yet.
Yeah, so if
I mean, I know there's some people that are got to be diehard Snap fans. They probably thought it was the greatest thing they'd ever done. So I'm sure they're looking forward to it.
So if you guys, even if you're just into the Pokemon games, I know some people that pretty much own every single Pokemon game known to man. So here you go, Pokemon Snap's coming back. If you bring you back to your childhood, if you're old enough to remember it when it was on the 64. And the last thing I was going to mention is JD and I kind of mentioned this in our chat our group chat that we have. No Man's Skies is going cross-platform.
All right, I forgot about that. Yeah,
that's I literally just remembered that. So
yeah, that's right.
I remember when it first came out, I bought it on a PC, not realizing my brother had it on a console, and I was like, "This kind of sucks. I wish we could play together." Well, at that time, I don't even think multiplayer was around when it first came out. That was added later, wasn't it? You couldn't really join each other.
Yeah. I mean, it was supposed to exist, and it kind of did in a stupid, half-hearted way.
Yeah.
They definitely made it better over time, for sure.
Which I wouldn't mind checking it out again. I haven't played it since we last played it. I mean, you've definitely dedicated a lot more time to it because you got a cruiser now, if I remember correctly. I don't even have.
Oh yeah, I played that. I played hours of that game. I had my own little harvesting planet where I could sell iridium for like millions. And had like one of the top cruisers in the game and stuff like that. Yeah, that game is amazing once you get into it. It's very like you liked Elite Dangerous, so I'm surprised you didn't like No Man's Sky because I found it pretty similar but more fun. Personally,
I think it was. I wasn't having as much luck as you, my brother. You guys were able to find new ships pretty quick. Me, I was just like struggling, but maybe because I didn't understand the mechanics of the game too well. So that might be
you are pretty dumb.
Yeah, I am a little bit.
As we've established earlier in the podcast.
See, No Man's Skies, though, a lot of ways we made money, you can still mine, but that was a later thing that was added. Most of the time you got money from smuggling cargo or killing people. So,
I mean, early on, No Man's Sky, you're mostly just doing the quests and stuff to get money, But by the end game, I'm setting up giant iridium farms. I'm like, I think I spent like 10 hours searching for the perfect planet where the weather wasn't going to kill me. It's still pretty bad, by the way. The weather is still pretty deadly on this planet, but it had like
those guardians,
like an A-grade iridium mine where I just set up tons of harvester things that pull the iridium out. I don't remember any of the lingo, so my bad. It might not even be iridium that I'm thinking of. I don't remember. But yeah, I pull all of that out, refine it all, and then I take it and I go and sell it. The hard part for me is because I play on a harder difficulty, I can only carry so much. So I have to take like 10 trips and visit like 10 different solar systems. Whereas somebody playing on normal could just take it all in one go and sell it all in one place and make a huge killing. So I don't make nearly as much money as other people, but it did give me like 150 million credits or whatever, so I could buy a ship. So I was pretty happy with that. But I mean, since I played, I mean, I played it the most recent, and they've still been adding a lot of stuff. They have like alien ships now, where you can hunt down alien eggs in minefields and like create your own new alien ship. They've got all new multiplayer stuff. They're adding quests that you can do cooperatively or to make money to buy unique stuff from the multiplayer. And I can't remember what any of this stuff is called. The multiplayer space station. I don't remember what it's called. But yeah, so Yeah, there's tons of new stuff in there for anybody who's trying to get into that game new, and they're still working on more content updates and doing this cross-platform thing, and they've released it on Game Pass. So if you either already have Game Pass or you haven't used Game Pass before and you want to try this game out, you can probably get like a month or two for really cheap just to play
And
the
check it out.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can play it on Xbox or PC. And then you can play with anybody on any of the consoles: PlayStation 4, Xbox, and PC, all cross-platform. So
There you
pretty
go.
cool. A lot of cool stuff.
Cross-platform.
It's very exciting.
It's big news for No Man's Skies, and it's actually big news for cross-platforms because the cross-platform is becoming more and more of a thing. For the longest time, the biggest holdup was PlayStation. Sony was not giving in on the cross-platform things. Even the game War Thunder I play is cross-platform, but PlayStation would not allow War Thunder to interact with Xbox players. They could play with PC players, but if an Xbox player popped in, PlayStation players could not play with that server. So they're giving in now. They're even Fortnite had issues with Sony for a little bit with a cross-platform. So it's becoming more and more of a thing.
And don't forget, No Man's Sky also added VR. For anybody that plays VR, you can actually play the whole game in virtual reality, which is pretty cool. I don't have a VR headset, so I've never tried it, but it's something they're continuously improving on for that too. So that's pretty.
It's definitely come a long way. I remember when it was released, they had a lot of hiccups and issues, like a lot of them. I remember it would crash on me randomly. I'd be in the middle of something, make a lot of progress, and it crashed because I forgot to save. I lost everything I did, which is one of the reasons why I stopped playing it so quickly in the beginning when it first came out. So it's come a long way.
With a big game like this, there's still going to be glitches. I'm sure there's still glitches in there, but definitely the game got crapped on when it first came out because they made promises they didn't keep. It had a lot of problems with it. I really feel like they were rushed to release it because they had been working on it for so long. But they've made leaps and bounds, huge strides in improving.
They have.
Game. I had a lot of fun with it last time I was playing it. So anyway, that's it. Yeah, for new games.
Yeah, I don't think I got anything else I was going to bring up. I haven't seen anything recently. I've seen some odd stories here and there, but they could be saved for another episode. We spent a lot of time on these new games, so
yeah, I told you we would. Lots of new stuff. So that's great. It's awesome. With COVID, like a lot of that has taken a bit of a backseat especially for certain states that have been able to reopen. So I think a lot of these gaming studios have been able to get back to work in different ways that they haven't been able to for the last few months. So I think that's why we're seeing a lot of these announcements. That's great. It's good to see.
And I think this is going to be one of the better years for game announcements in a while. It's been a while since we've actually had games to look forward to.
I think new consoles help stir that, right?
Everybody wants they usually do.
And even though we aren't going to play those consoles probably because we're PC gamers, PC master race, it still stirs people to create something new that will make a mark on those consoles, and then they can also release it on PC, maybe if we're lucky.
Most of the time, well, especially if it's an Xbox game, it'll usually end up on PC.
Yeah, pretty much. I think Xbox kind of abandoned the idea of exclusives at this point, which is good. Great.
Yeah.
Screw exclusives. Screw you, Sony. Anyway, let's do our outro. Do the outro stuff.
I don't have anything to add for the outro except, like I said in the past, use hashtag NTWP or at JD and I on Twitter. The Twitter links will be down in the description of this video when I post it on YouTube, and JD will post links on the podcast sites where he uploads this to pretty much all major podcast sites. I don't think we're missing any anymore, but we could be. I don't remember.
Nope, we're good. All the bases covered on that.
So if you guys got questions for us, whether about our military career or our lives as of today, or if you got stories you would like us to talk about in the future, add us. JD, actually, is your Discord public or is it just mainly for us?
It's public. I have on my Twitter and on all my YouTube videos, I have a link for my Discord.
I have a Discord as well, but if you mainly want to talk about not the worst podcast stuff, I highly recommend going to JD's, mainly because we're in that one a lot more than mine, and especially because this was kind of like JD's brainchild, so might as well keep it in one centralized area and make it easier.
Yeah, come on in, join the Discord, let's talk. Yeah, I mean, if maybe if this thing ever takes off and it has its own people, we create its own Discord for it. I don't know. We'll see.
I've thought of it.
Right
I
now,
got
we have
plans.
an estimated audience of 2, and I'm pretty sure it's us. So
um, and yeah, I thought about that this week, and I've already got plans for one. I'm not going to make it until there's more of an interest, because there's really not a point to make a dedicated Discord
yeah,
for it until it gets bigger. But
yeah.
that
Anyway,
that's
that's all we
about.
got.
Yep.
Right. Cool. All right. This has been Not the Worst Podcast. We're happy to be back. We skipped a week, so we're getting back into it. Thanks for listening. Have a good one, and we'll see you later.
Later, everybody.